wakati huo nililazimishwa kwenda. Si kwenda kwa kupenda kwangu. Juu hiyo time ilinipata kama ninaishi kwa nyanya yangu, alafu baadaye wakati tohara ilipofika, nyanya yangu akaambia babangu lazima msichana atahiriwa, hatufai kukaa hivyo. Hasa akawa amemsukuma, pia baba akawa amekubaliana na yeye. Hasa ikawa tumelazimishwa na ikawa nikajikuta kwa hiyo harakati ya kukeketwa. Mama alikuwa anakataa ila baba alikuwa anaisupport. Wakati nilitahiriwa niliacha shule. Alafu baada ya kuacha shule then nikarudi tena nikaenda shule. Alafu baada ya hapo pia sasa katika ile harakati ya changamoto hapa na pale, ikafika time pia fee ikanikosa tena nikaacha. Alafu tena kwa hiyo kusumbuka tu, baadaye pia ikapatikana pia nikarudi. Pia ikawa changamoto pia nikaacha. Sasa safari ikawa ngumu, maisha ikawa ngumu kidogo. Sasa nikawa ninaregret kama singekeketwa at least ningepata msaada, mtu wa kunisaidia kunilipia kama fee, kunisaidia. Sasa kwa sababu nilipitia hiyo tohara sasa ikawa ngumu kidogo. Nilichukuliwa kutoka nyumbani nikapelekwa kwenye wasichana wanatahiriwa. Kuna place fulani wasichana huwaga wanapelekwa kutahiriwa. Sasa wakati walinichukua walinipeleka pale. Sasa katika ile harakati ya kukataa, sasa kuna ile sasa wanakulazimishia kwa sababu umeshafika huko. Sasa ikabidi tu sasa unakubali kwa sababu umeshafika pale kwenye wasichana wanatahiriwa. Na madhara. Kwa sababu kitu cha kwanza, wakati ambapo nilitahiriwa niliacha shule. Baada ya kuacha shule nikakuja nikakaa nyumbani. Alafu baadaye nikarudishwa shule. Baada ya kwenda shule fee ikakosa. Alafu pia nikarudi nyumbani. Nilisikia uchungu wakati wa kutahiriwa. Mara nyingi wazazi wetu pia wanachangia. Kwa sababu unakuta wakati mwingine watoto huwaga hapendi. Lakini sasa ikifika pale kwa wazazi, kuna ile wanalazimisha, wanasema kwamba ni lazima kwa sababu ni culture ya hii tribe yetu sasa. Chenye kinafaa kufanyika ni kuhamasisha wasichana, kuwaleta pamoja na kuwafunza pamoja na wazazi wao, wafundishe kwamba hii tohara ni mbaya. Kwa sababu mtu akitahiriwa kuna mapungufu yanakuja, kwa sababu ukitahiriwa saa zingine unaweza kosa kumaliza shule. Kwa hivyo inasababishwa na unaweza pata mimba za mapema. Zingine unajiona sasa umekuwa mwanamke. Halafu baadaye ama unaweza ukaolewa ukiwa na miaka kidogo sana.
Kwa nini ulikata tohara? Kuna mafunzo ulipata ama kwa nini ulikata tohara?
Wakati nilikataa ndio walikuwa wameanza kuhamasisha watu wakisema kwamba tohara ni mbaya. Hiyo wakati hiyo mafundisho ndio yalikuwa yamekuja. Hasa tukawa tumeelimishwa kidogo pale kanisani, tunaambiwa tohara ni mbaya. Hasa nikawa nimeamua kwamba sitatahiriwa kwa sababu nimeambiwa ni mbaya.
Name is Josephat Chacha Waise. I work in Kuria East Sub-County MOH office. I coordinate a program of child and adolescent health, and I work closely with the Sub-County GBV coordinator. So in Kuria East, we are bordered by Tanzania and Narok County, and Kuria East is a sub-county within Migori County that practices FGM. FGM is very rampant in Kuria East. And in the previous circumcision season, quite a number of young girls underwent the cut. Though we had some engagements with the community and with even the elders, though the word they gave us was not true because they had promised that they would not do the cut, but eventually they did cut a few girls within the sub-county. So apart from FGM, there is also rampant sexual gender-based violence within the sub-county. including wife battering, teenage pregnancies, which is very high in Kuria East, because after the girls undergo the cut, a majority of them are married off to mature men or even to young boys, and so they end up becoming mothers at a very tender age. Though the numbers over time have gone down, comparing the last 5 years in Kuria East, the number of teenage pregnancies have gone down because of a lot of interventions that we've done with several organizations within the sub-county. But still, it is a problem within us, because even this year we had a few cases of girls who underwent the cut. And the big problem that we have in Kuria East is that even when the cutters within the sub-county or within Kuria are intimidated by the government restrictions, a number of parents ferry the girls during the night to Tanzania, because we are bordering Tanzania, so they take them to Tanzania to undergo the cut. So it's still going on secretly, and we have quite a number of girls that are going through the same. Okay, in regards to teenage pregnancy, currently in Kuria East we are at around 20-21%, which is still a big number because it is above the national figures, which is at 18%. And as regards to FGM, it's not very easy to quantify, but considering the data we have in our facilities, because we have a provision in our reporting tools where we capture the young women who come to our maternities to deliver, how many of them have undergone the cut. Though this one cuts across to even the very old women, we've seen that at least more than 60% of the women folk around have undergone the cut.
In terms of the medical aspect, FGM is associated with other medical conditions. Which could be other medical conditions, and how are they increasing?
Yeah, FGM has got several medical consequences. For example, it really gives a problem during childbirth, because after the healing of the cut, the process of healing leaves a scar, and we expect that during childbirth the muscles around the perineal area are supposed to expand to give way for the baby to be born. So this poses a threat to deliveries within the sub-county, because majority of the deliveries are difficult deliveries, and majority of them end up going to be done theatre, to be done CS, considering that within the sub-county we don't even have a theatre. There is also the trauma that is associated with FGM. The girl goes some post-traumatic stress that may live with this girl for the rest of her life. We've seen even girls who probably become truant in school, performance is affected. So there are several factors that are associated with FGM for the girls who have undergone the cut. For the sub-county, we've been able to develop a sub-county task force, which is composed of different departments. We have the health department, we have the administration, we have the police, we have the child protection, we have the community members, we have local CBOs, and this committee has been in place for some time now, and we work closely together to make sure that the vice is fought within the sub-county. So that for us has worked, because we are able to collaborate with the different departments and the different sectors to fight the vice within the sub-county. Though the major gap that we have in that is that the community is not cooperative. When we ask for the village elders, the wazees, to come and join us in our meetings, majority of the meetings we don't get the real wazees who are perpetrating this vice. Instead, we only get imposters who give us false information. Sometimes they tell us they're not going to do the cut, but in the end, we find them doing the cut. I think it's within the sub-county, within the community. I think they know best, because it's like they do not want to reveal what they are actually doing within the community. They don't want the government agencies to get to know the dynamics involved in FGM, so that, because they know that if they divulge such information, probably it will bring an end to the vice. And information we have is that it is something they do even to, it's some source of income generating activity for those village elders. So it's like they feel threatened. They do not reveal the real wazes who are perpetrating this vice within the sub-county. Yes, and that depends on the community, probably over time. I think over time, once people are educated, if the efforts, the anti-FGM campaigns are unrelenting, if we continue our efforts, then I think in the long run, this FGM is going to end. We have quite a number of families who have stopped practicing the FGM, and the major thing that they incite these girls with is that if you don't get cut, then you are not going to get married. But we've seen a specific trend within Kuria, where in every homestead you will find a lady that has been married from other uncircumcising communities, other uncutting communities. So this shows that even these girls who are being threatened that if you are not cut, then you are not going to get married, it's like they are going to realize that yes, they're encouraging us to be cut so that we can get married, but the picture on the ground is that we have young men, young boys who are willing to even go to uncircumcising communities to get women as wives instead of looking for local girls who have undergone the cut.
Okay, my name is Jacqueline Murithi. I'm an activist for the girl child in Timaru sub-county. I work for Cross-Boader CBO that is based in Timaru. As Cross-Boader, our common date is dealing with matters FGM in our community that is highly prevalent amongst the Korean community. We record the highest cases of FGM in the last FGM that took place last year. So we also deal with issues of cross-borders, issues regarding FGM, especially when the cutters cut across the border to go and perform the FGM act in Tanzania, and issues of our girls being rescued from Tanzania or our girls from Kenya going to undergo the cut in Tanzania. Basically, it has been on a high note. Many girls have been crossing, especially when the police enforce the law and they become strict in Kenya. Many parents opt to cross the border because being a porous border, they just cross and find the cutters on the other side. They perform the act and bring the girl who's already cut back to Kenya. So it has been a challenge, especially liaising with the police officers on the other end. As you know, the law says you cannot, a Kenyan police officer cannot arrest somebody in Tanzania unless the police in Tanzania arrest them. So that is our biggest challenge. As Cross-Boader CBO, like 3 years ago, we initiated a cross-border task force that engages the Tanzania CBOs and organizations like the Anti-FGM Asanga and Plan International Tanzania, and equally the CBOs in Kenya, and we formed a task force to deal with these issues. In case of cross-border issues, now we're able to liaise with them. We have a wall that is basically comprising the Tanzania team and the Kenyan team, including the OCSs, all the police officers that are engaging, the gender desk officers, so that we're able to track the cases. Yes. We've achieved a lot. We've made great milestones. One of them being the task force that I've already talked about. Number 2, we've been able to rescue some girls and taken them back to Tanzania, where they come from, and especially to the camp. And also here in Kenya, we've been able to retrieve our girls who ran to Tanzania and equally arrest the cutters who ran to Tanzania when they heard they were being sought after. Yes. A lot needs to be done, especially on the part of the law and enforcement and judiciary. There's a lot of loopholes, especially in issues of witness protection, issues of evidence. Most of the times we take cases to courts and the judges raise issue, or the prosecutor raise issue of what is the evidence. And apparently most of the evidence is just the cutter, and the cutter refuses that. She was just carrying a blade like any other person. So it becomes a a nitty-gritty issue. So we also need to look at that issue of evidence and witness protection on the part of judiciary. The part of the community, we need to engage the boy child. We cannot end FGM minus the boy child. It's an area that has not been tapped into, and once the boy child comes, because eventually is the one who's going to marry this, either cat or uncut girl. So once the mindset has been transformed, we're able to make milestones in this. Number 3, we are equally looking into the issue of supporting the girls who have not undergone FGM. A lot of sensitization has been done to the community, but less support has been set aside to target this specific girls so that we can support them. They become good role models in the community to set the pace for their upcoming children. So, last time we had a prosecutor in one of our meetings, and he raised an issue of the same issue of evidence. He requested, as we are taking the cases to the court, let's do a further detailed evidence. For example, we can do a photo or a video of when we are arresting this person, or when they're caught on the act, so that carries a bit of more weight, so that the case can move forward. So that is what they raised. But normally they're in our team of anti-FGM steering committee at sub-county levels. That is a very good question. In fact, that was a very big issue, but moving on forward, the future work plans of many organizations now, we are doing the community at the engagements at community levels, at the chief barazas. In fact, most meetings right now and most organizations are moved from big hotels and boardrooms. We are now doing it at the community levels, at the chief barazas, at church forums, where we meet the youths, we meet the community members at large. Yes.
Finally, and last on last, when are we ending it here?
It ought to have ended with the presidential decree in 2022. I'm equally wondering why it has not ended. It ought to have ended like back then, because it's illegal. Right now, let's end it, the better for our girl child. Yes.
Why didn't we end it? You're a stakeholder. The government failed.
Why didn't we end it? So in this case, there's been a challenge because a lot of FGM now is being done in secrecy. Like, for example, where I come from in Timaru, it used to be done in day broad light, but now they're doing it in the evening. They're hiding, they're doing border rides and carrying like a passenger. So they have changed the trends, and that is why now it's becoming a bit difficult to identify them. But no matter how much they change, we'll still look and seek to arrest them. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Ricky Samuel. I work for the Network for Adolescent and Youth of Africa, Naya, Kenya. So currently we are working in Kuria East and Kuria West, and we are supporting community so that we help in championing in reducing FGM, child marriages in Kuria, and also teenage pregnancy. So the current trends on FGM right now is that there is still a high rate of FGM. Girls are being cut, and in fact they have come up with a new device where girls are being cut in the night, and parents and guardians decide to take these girls and bringing on board the cutters in their homes, and this is done at night. So they are revolutionizing what has been the practice over time. Initially there were celebrations and people are doing it in the open air, but we realize right now it is being done in a way that is a little secret because of the different efforts and coordination efforts that have been done by government, sector department and entities, including non-governmental organizations. So because currently there is a lot of effort in fighting FGM, so people are becoming to start getting wary of the same. Naya, together with the support of UNICEF, we have had different mitigation strategies that we have come up with. Key among them is that we are now leveraging on existing structures that are government, including working with the Ngao. We are working with the Children's Department. We are also working with the different sector departments at the county level, including the Department of Gender, the Ministry of Health, among other departments. So we have had a coordinated approach, a multi-sectoral approach of bringing on board different stakeholders so that we fight this vice together. I think going forward, there is need for constructive conversations between the community, and also just giving an opportunity for the youth, more so for the girls, so that they can also make their own decisions, because you realize that most of these girls are being forced into the cart against their will, and sometimes they are even forced by being twisted into not being supported by their parents. So it is very important to have continued conversations between the community, the government structures that are within Migori County, and more so Kuria East and Kuria West sub-counties. But again, we are also calling on our leaders so that they give us the goodwill in having conversations around FGM, because the people listen to them, and there is need for them also to have a conversation so that we see whether we are going to bring down FGM. We have had support from different cadres of the political divide, even though not all political leaders have come out to speak about issues around FGM and child marriages within the community. So there is still need for more rapid or catalyzed conversations between the politicians, so that they can also come out and spread the word that FGM is really harming these girls within the community. Currently there is coordinated effort that is spearheaded by the county commissioner, and this brings on board stakeholders from different cadres. We have CSOs, we have members of the national government security teams, we have the police, we have at the sub-county levels, we have the assistant county commissioners, the county commissioners, the deputy county commissioners, and all the other players within the security sector. And you realize that there is a steering committee that brings on board the Tanzanian team and the Kenyan team, and you realize that there has been conversations between the two teams so that we ensure that the porous borders do not allow for girls to be transported from Kenya into Tanzania and vice versa. And just also to ensure that we have closely monitored operations of girls who are being taken for the cart across the border, or those perpetrators who want to hide from justice, running away from Kenya and going onto the other side of the East African community.
Maybe lastly, are the existing laws enough to fight FGM, or there's gap?
We have quite good laws, we have policies. I mean, starting from the county level, we have the sexual gender-based violence policy of 2021. We really need to fast-track implementation of that policy document, but also start conversations on whether the document should be reviewed, or is it really serving its cause. We have laws, we have decrees that have been made, including the decree made by our previous president. We have decrees that have been made by the current president on FGM. And I think if these laws are implemented to the latter, then we will realize a paradigm shift with regards to the issues of FGM within Migori County.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So jina langu naitwa William Kiria Mtatiro. Mimi ni senior chief wa Komatobo location. Komatobo location iko Chinato division, Kuria East sub county. Mimi kibinafsi nimekuwa champion kupigana na mambo na gender based violence, haswa sana tohara ambayo imekuwa ni kero katika maisha ya mtoto msichana wa kike hapa Kuria. Mimi nakumbuka kama miaka 5 ambayo imepita, nimejaribu sana kwa uwezo wangu tukishirikiana na mashirika. Kwanza sana nataka nishukuru Tunaweza Empowerment. Umekuwa msaada wa kwanza kabisa kujitokeza na kufanya kazi na sisi bega kwa bega kuhakikisha kwamba kitendo cha FGM kimepungua kiasi. Kama mimi kwa location yangu, mwaka uliopita kulikuwa na hiyo ikifanyika hapa Kuria, lakini hakuna msichana hata moja alikatwa. Na maana hiyo ni kuonyesha kwamba tumepiga hatua moja. Na siwezi sema eti kwamba hiyo imeisha kabisa, kwa sababu siku hizi waga wako na challenge nyingine. Wanaifanya usiku wa manane ambayo hakuna mtu anajua. Na hiyo ndio tunaomba tushirikiane na mashirika wengine, watu wajitokeze ili tufanye kazi kwa pamoja kuhakikisha kwamba hiyo imeisha kabisa. Otherwise tunashukuru sana.
Kwa nini tujamaliza FGM? Shida iko?
Shida yenye iko hapa mambo mengi huwaga yanafanyika. Unajua sisi tunafanya kazi ndani ya jamii, na unapata pia culture wanasema kwamba ni haki yetu na watu wafanye hivyo. Na pia corruption inaye. Unapata kwa mfano kama chief ameshika mtu, amepeleka police station, kuna kangaro koti katikati hapo. Sasa katikati ya hapo hiyo arresting process na judiciary, unapata hata mtu ameachiliwa, ama unapata mtu amefikishwa mahakamani, alafu ile fine amepigwa ni kidogo sana. Unapata hata wengine wamechangia, alafu mtu ametolewa, hasa wale wakeketaji. Unapata anarudi tena na kuja kusema watu mmenifanya nini sasa. Kwa hivyo tunaomba kama hata ni hatua inachukuliwa, hatua ichukuliwe kali ambayo yule mtu hawezi lipa fine, arudi tena kuhangaisha watu huko.
Labda niulize,
yes.
Sehemu ya Kibaroti pale ambapo na hudumu ni karibu na mpaka wa Nyamtiro, ambapo siku hizi wale wakeketaji wanavusha watu katika ule upande mwingine wa Tanzania. Je, ni visa vingapi mmekabiliana navyo na mikakati ambayo mmeweka kuhakikisha kwamba ukeketaji wa mpaka kufanyika? Sasa
kulingana na usaidizi wa mashirika kama tunaweza, kuna kipindi walitupeleka kule kushirikiana na Naya, tukakutana na viongozi wa kule Tanzania, viongozi wenzetu, tukaweka mikakati kwamba wakati wa Disemba wale wanakuwa chonjo na sisi tunakuwa chonjo, kwa sababu unajua Anti-FGM Act iko wazi kwamba kama mtu anaweza chukua mtu apeleke pale, Article 21, hiyo ni sheria kwamba mtu atafungwa na hicho kipengele. Kwa hivyo tuko na ushirikiano mzuri na wenzetu kutoka Tanzania kuhakikisha kwamba tunapigana vita dhidi ya dhahara ya mtoto msichana.
Labda kwa ile yako, kuna sema ngapi labda walifikiwa Tanzania wakafanyiwa tohara wakarudi huku, na wale ambao walifanyiwa tohara upande huu?
Kama kwa ile yangu mimi mwenyewe vile nimesema, mwaka uliopita kuna hata msichana hata mmoja alienda, kwa sababu mwaka wa 2018 mimi mwenyewe tulipigana na watu, hata kwangu ikafamiwa na watu zaidi ya 1000, tukapigana, serikali ikanisaidia na tukashinda hiyo vita. Na mimi nilikuja nikasema kwamba wale watu ambao tunafanya na wao, kama ni mdogo wangu assistant chief, akiona mimi labda nasembea sehemu fulani, yeye ananisema kwa serikali ili nichukuliwe hatua. Na mimi nikiona kuna mtu labda anasembea, na mimi namreport. Hiyo ndio trend tumetumia na tukahakikisha kwamba tumeshinda hii vita.
Kuna wale kina mama ambao wanajulikana wanafanya hii tohara. Mbona wako wanaishi nyinyi kwa vile and they are still there na kuna changamoto iko?
Sasa kama wale wa mama, kulingana na sasa hivi hakuna mama eti amewekwa permanent. Unaona sasa tuko na Council of Elders, hao wazee wa jadi. Hao ndio shida kubwa, kwa sababu unapata hao wazee yeye ndio wanapanga hiyo tohara, na hao ndio wana identify ni nani anaweza kata. Unaweza pata hata wewe chifu uko hapo kwa kijiji, lakini hujui ni mama gani wameandaa. Kwa mfano kama mwaka kama huu wanataka kufanya, mimi naweza kuwa na kisia labda mama Gati ndiye alikuwa anafanya hiyo last year, lakini upate sasa wameweka mama mwingine kwa jina tofauti. Hiyo ndio shida tuko nayo.
Tumekuwa na mkutano mwingi na wale wazee. Mpaka wengine wakaidi kwamba wanamaliza hiyo mama. Shida kwa wapi?
Wale wazee ni waongo. Unajua mambo yenye wanafanya ya ndani na sheria. Na sisi kama Kenya ni nchi na uaga tuko na katiba. Katiba ndiyo inaongoza nchi. Sasa sisi tungesema kwamba tuwe tunajaribu kuepukana na wazee kama wale. Kama mimi kwa location yangu sitaki mambo yao, kwa sababu wao wanakuja, si wao ndio wanaorganize tohara ya mtoto msichana. Lakini ikifikia kama ni kukata, the same people ndio wanaorganize, alafu unapata wamekupiga chenga. Kwa hivyo sio watu waaminifu.
Sasa nini tutafanya tumalize tohara kwa mama?
Ni kuhakikisha kwamba sheria inafuatwa. Kama ni wale wa mama washikwe na wafungwe. Kwa mfano si labda anajulikana fulani alifanya na akafanyia mtoto msichana fulani, hiyo sheria ichukuliwe na mtu afungwe, alafu tusiwe na corruption. Pia hata wakati tunashika watu tukishirikiana na polisi, tunafanya kazi kwa ushirikiano sana na polisi, lakini tukipeleka pale judiciary unapata mtu ameenda ameachiliwa ama amepigwa faini kidogo. Kwa mfano mimi mwaka 2018 nilishika mkeketaji, kupeleka pale unapata mtu amefungwa mwaka mmoja na amekosea mtoto. Sasa hiyo mwaka mmoja si unaona ni mchezo anafanya. Na sasa hiyo amefungwa mwaka mmoja, anaambiwa ahudumu kifungo cha mwaka mmoja ama faini ya shilingi 40,000. 40,000 si mtu anauza ng'ombe moja na anaenda anauza. Na huyo mtu waga ana collect pesa, kwa sababu akikata mtoto moja analipa shilingi 1,000. So watoto 40 wanatosha kulipa hiyo pesa yenye alikuwa amepigwa faini. So kama ni faini mtu aweke hata milioni moja yenye hawezi, na hata afungwe miaka 15 hata maisha, kwa sababu waga amedhulumu msichana.
Sawa.